Hi, I'm Jim Webster on the Board of Education for Grand County School District, and today's May 18th update, I have the great pleasure to bring Margaret Hopkins, Superintendent Hopkins, back into the picture, and she will introduce our new superintendent of schools, who starts on July 1st, Dr. Scott Crane. We're very excited about this transition of superintendency, and I'd like to just take a minute or two to go over the whole process that we used to get to where we are now. Back in about November of 2011, Superintendent Hopkins told the board that she was going to retire at the end of June of 2012. So after we did a big collective deep breath, we said, okay, we can't talk her out of it, couldn't talk her out of it. So we began the process of trying to hire a superintendent. The school board met in executive session, closed session, and discussed the strategies on how to do that. Invited the executive director of the Utah School Boards Association down to work with us. And in January, Margaret Hopkins made the public announcement. And at that time, the board had developed a small subcommittee to work on the search. We opened it up and invited the public and staff to get involved as well. We ended up with subcommittees of staff, school staff members and community members to help the school board to look at what we really wanted with a superintendent in terms of attributes. Also wanted to look at where the school district was going and see, at least from staff and the community side, if we were going in the right direction. The board thought we were, and actually both subcommittees, the groups of people came in, really did affirm that. So we liked the direction that the school district was going under Superintendent Hopkins, and we hope to really continue that direction. We put together an announcement of announcing the position. It was open for almost 2 months, and we had a number of people apply, some very, very qualified. And we got the two subcommittees, education community subcommittees, together, and the board reviewed the applications when they finally came in, and sort of made a cut of some of the people that we wanted to interview in person. We did interview a number of those applicants, Dr. Crane, of course, being one of them, and our smaller group, which was of interview committee, which was the board members, as well as some people from the education committee and the community committee, came up with some recommendations to the board. The board met and basically affirmed what the subcommittees who had reviewed all the information after doing due diligence, we offered Dr. Crane the job, and we were delighted to hear him say yes. So that said, I'd like to turn it over to Superintendent Hopkins for a minute or two, and then she will let us all meet Dr. Crane and his wife, Kathy.
Hi, I'm Margaret Hopkins, Superintendent of Grand County School District, and I'm excited today to be here to introduce our new superintendent. I need to share with you that I was not involved in the interview process. However, I did have the opportunity to give our applicants tours of our school district. And when I met Dr. Crane and we were on tour for an hour and a half or two, I came away from that tour knowing that this was the person for the job. But again, I didn't have a vote, and I was basically silent, just watching the process, and the process played out in the same direction with the interview teams. And so I feel really confident, and again, I'm very excited to have Dr. Crane and his wife Kathy here today, and so I wanted to introduce them to our citizens. So this is Dr. Crane from Blackfoot, Idaho, and his wife Kathy. Dr. Crane is currently the superintendent in Blackfoot, and so he has a huge challenge. He and Kathy have huge challenges ahead in the next month and a half. They're buying a house here. Dr. Crane is closing down his superintendency and passing it on to the next new superintendent in Blackfoot, stepping into our position here and starting to learn the ropes. And so he'll be on officially July 1, and but he'll be in town. He and Kathy will be in town probably about 3 weeks or so. We're thinking, yeah. And so welcome, you two.
Thank you very much.
And
appreciate it.
Any impressions of Moab as you come into town?
Well, we're very excited to be here in Moab. We spent a lot of time in Moab before. Kathy is from Utah. She's from North Sanpete, and I worked there for her dad. Her dad made me work for him before I could marry her, and he was a great he was a great man. He was one of those young men that was kind of a rough rider, and had spent most of his life in southern Utah. And so every Saturday when we got our work done at the turkey plant, he would load us in the truck, and we'd go find something in southern Utah to look at. So we've been all over southern Utah. We love southern Utah. It's great to be able to come back. Kathy allowed me to take her to Idaho for a few years, but the plan always was that we were coming back to Utah when we were done with education up in Idaho. So we're so happy to be here. We're so excited. Meeting with Margaret and Jim and the school board and the people who have been able to meet. I've just been so impressed with how friendly Moab is, how excited they are and friendly to me as I walk around town and I meet people. They all say, "Oh, we saw you in the paper, and we're so glad you're coming, and we appreciate that you'd want to come and work with us." And as I talk to Margaret and Jim and the rest of the school board, and we talk about issues that we're facing, they're very similar to ones that I've had to deal with in Blackfoot, and I think that I can add quality to the district. A lot of times a superintendent will come and you're afraid they're going to change everything. Well, that's not my style. My style is, I think you've got a lot of good things going, and we'll just add to those things and progress as a board and as a school district. And I just can't say how much that this means to us as a family to be welcomed here and to become a part of this wonderful part of Utah. So
Great.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Any comments, Kathy?
Oh, we're just excited to move to Moab, and thank you for the opportunity to let us become part of your community. And I know you won't regret it, because we're hard workers. And so thank you for letting us come.
Great.
We just appreciate the opportunity. When we decide to do something, Kathy and I go in 120%. So after the board gave us the job, we were down about the next weekend looking for houses. We have a house pretty much taken care of now. We've made plans to move. We want to get here, get set up as a family, and then get to work. Mm-hmm. So excited to be here.
And this is not to embarrass you and say this in front of you, but we really have a people person here and a very highly skilled educator. I mean, as we talked on our tour, I just became aware over and over again that Blackfoot does seem to be experiencing almost the exact same dynamics as Grand County. It's twice as large as Grand County School District, the Blackfoot School District, but we are a smaller version, really. And so we're bringing on an experienced person and an experienced educator, and I think that's very critical in what we're looking for. So great. Well, welcome. And I think that as community members, you'll be seeing Dr. Crane and Kathy around town and this summer, I'm assuming, and coming out to different organizations and agencies to introduce themselves. And so keep in touch, and you'll be meeting, I'm sure, our new superintendent, Kathy, on the street, if not in meetings.
Yeah, don't be shy. Come up and introduce yourself. Say hi.
Yeah, great. So thank you very much. And for me, I'm still here for at least another month and a half or so. And so maybe I'll give some kind of a parting speech at some point, but I really have been honored to work in Grand County School District for 32 or 3 years. And it's really it's actually very nostalgic and poignant for me to meet people on the street. I mean, I'm meeting kids now who have kids, and some have grandkids, kids that I had in my first class over at Southeast Elementary in 1979. And so it's been a really interesting few months, and I appreciate all of the comments, and it's just fun to see all of the kids grown up and being community members. And so thank you for allowing me to be of service to you. It's been a great time.